Alright guys, welcome back. In today's video we're going to be breaking down Bitcoin. We're going to start off with the smaller picture and then we're going to work our way into the bigger picture in the overall scheme of things. So guys, let's go ahead and get into it. I want to start off by showing you a trade that we took. First off, we shorted here at 55,300. I even sent an alert to our WhatsApp group telling you guys that we shorted it here at 55.3. Okay, so made some money on the downside here on this short, but I want to talk about a bad trade we made here today with our members, which was last night before we went to bed. We went long at 54K. Okay, we set our stops, go to sleep. I wake up, boom, we're up here, and this is where I woke up to. We're right here at 55.6, and so I see that we're a little bit off the top, that I missed the entry, and I'm thinking right here, man, we're gonna get above this fib level, and it'll possibly be a smooth ride up to 60K. But what do you notice? We come all the way back down and we held that long, okay, and we saw it get break even and we got out with a small profit right about here. Okay, so I just gave back all the profits we had, which we had a lot of profit here, guys. When we went long, boom, I gave it all the way back. Okay, but this gives us a key hint and a key clue, okay, because typically you want to stay with the trade and you want to let the trade play out to a greater extent, okay, because, for example, if you stayed with the trade and you went long, you know, down here, right, when we broke the trend line, for example, boom, you could have held it all the way up here, right? And that's your choice. That's the easy way to do things, right? Is stay with the trend and the trade. So what do we do here? Well, we try to stay with the trend and the trade. And the trend, okay, finally reversed on us. It kind of failed on us, right? It gave back, okay? And so if you follow this channel, I've given you guys this tip and I've shown you guys this before. I said usually when you're in a trade at where you start and it comes all the way back to where you began the trade, back to your entry point, a lot of times, more times than not, it's going to head back lower than, you know, that, okay, because the force worked hard to push it all the way back down to where you started the trade. So usually that means there's a force working to bring the price lower, at least from my experience. So at this point, we are expecting most likely price to continue lower. We are short right now, guys. And that being said, not taking on huge positions right now. But if you look at the Bitcoin daily chart, we've got a reversal formation here. And it does not look bullish in the short term, right? So the key point to understand is we're bullish overall, but we are not bullish in the short immediate term, as in today, as in tomorrow, as in possibly the next day after that. So at this point, this is a great time for a pullback, and I expect that to be a solid dip. So maybe a pullback down to 50K, 51K, heck, even 49K makes a lot of sense after the massive run-up we've just had. And that's where I'd be looking to buy in on the dip if I were you and you haven't gotten in already, okay? So next, I want to talk about the bigger picture, right? So this is the short-term picture. These are the two trades we took here, and this is how this long trade that we gave back all of our profits on, which really blows because we were making a good bit there, right? That trade gives us a clue, okay? Because, for example, if you stuck with the trade, you know, here, if you stuck with the trade here, even though it's cooling off, even though it's coming back, right? You stay with the trade, it goes higher, right? Today, if you stay with the trade, it failed you, and so that's giving you a key clue and a hint that the market is losing, you know, strength right now, and we are seeing a major loss of momentum. Now, keep in mind here, okay, look at this pattern right here on the 15-minute time frame. Now, I want to show you guys something that we traded here. So let's actually go back. Okay, so do you guys see this top right here? So check this out. We're gonna have to zoom out maybe to the 30-minute. But look at this pattern right here, and take a snapshot of this double top pattern where it consolidates at the bottom for quite a bit of time before it spikes out. It slightly overshoots past the top just by a little bit and then dumps off. Now check this out, guys. We're gonna go back to before the crash began that we nailed, or a partial crash right here. Look at this. See some massive run up. Look at this. We shorted it here. It came down. Look, it bottomed at this fib level, pop up, and then it dumped off. Okay, so look at this pattern right here, and look at the snapshot I just told you to take. Okay, so look at that. boom, 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 double top, and then look at this. Remember, this top slightly overshoots past this top. Okay, and so I had a fishy feeling when we were in this long today because it reminded me exactly of this trade that we were in here. I think it was a couple weeks ago. Okay, so it gave me that same fishy feeling. Once again, take a snapshot of this pattern right here. Boom, 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 slight overshoot, right? You can see it's a slight overshoot, and then it dumps off. Okay, what do we see here? That exact same pattern, guys. Okay, see this? Boom, boom, boom. Slight overshoot past the top, right? Here's the top there. So slight overshoot and boom. So this is what that pattern is reminding me of, guys. And you only feel that from experience and actually going through these patterns. So, you know, from that, I would expect the drop coming here, and I would expect the drop maybe to 51, 52K here in the short term. But obviously, you can see we're holding support as of now right here, okay, at 53, 54K. Okay, and if you go back to this example I was just showing you here, if we zoom out, I remember this trade, guys, just like it was yesterday. See how strong this support was over here? And what actually pushed it down was basically when we started just completely collapsing and crashing here. So, you know, right now it doesn't seem like we have any catalyst, okay? But remember, it's the exact same pattern, okay? And so with this exact same pattern, we could be getting some kind of catalyst here tonight or tomorrow that's going to make this pattern play out the exact same way. Okay, so you know that's the power in charts. We may not know what that catalyst is, but when you've experienced this pattern, when you've traded this pattern multiple times, then you know there's a very good chance we could be getting a pullback here. So that's the short term, but guys, taking it out to the longer term picture, you can see right here, we're banging our head right on this top fib level. Actually, no, this is not a fib level. This is just a right here, this is just a support or resistance level I have drawn up. But you can see we got very close to that top fib level. So 57K is where I'd really be looking out for resistance here. And then at the same time, guys, what I thought today was that I thought this was the fib level. I'll be honest. I thought this was the fib level. So I thought we were going to break past this and, you know, we'd be chilling on a long up to maybe 60K. But because we failed and because we gave back all those gains, to me, that's the clue and the hint that short term we should expect some downside here. But, okay, getting back to the longer time frame, guys, what I see here is, one, I want to take this to a cleaner chart so we can show you some of these things I'm seeing here. So this is what I see right now, okay? There's obviously the head and shoulders here with the neckline right there. And you can see, depending on where you draw the neckline, you either touched it or not. To be honest, who knows where exactly you want to draw that neckline, but could be here, could be here, okay? You know, it really just depends. If you do it off of the wicks, then we just rejected off of it perfectly. And if you do it off of the body of the candle, then we still got a little bit higher to go. But based on the way that we have rejected here in the short term, that would lead me to believe that we should expect downside here in the short term. In that we did indeed reject off of the head and shoulders trend line, okay? So the only thing holding Bitcoin up right now is this current key level at 53.8, 53.6. Once we can break that, I expect some definitely some downside here in the short term, maybe to 51K, and that's where I'd be looking to get in, maybe on a support level over here, maybe at 50K or right there at 51.9, or yeah, 50.5. These are the two spots I'd be looking to get in at if you're someone who maybe missed this big move up and you're looking to buy on the dip. This is where I'd be looking, okay, but you still got to be a little careful, okay, because getting back to this chart I was showing you right here, let's go ahead and delete these lines so we have a cleaner chart, guys. Back to the bigger time frame. What I'm seeing here is a possible falling wedge with the head and shoulders right there and its neckline. So that's two major bearish patterns forming here. Now, obviously, for this falling wedge to play out, you want to see it break down through this bottom white trend line. And if that happens, we could see a big downturn again here. Okay, so, you know, overall, like I said, we're bullish overall, okay? But, for example, we were bullish here, okay? And guess what? Just like this, the day before, I saw it. I saw this crash and dump off coming. I called it, and we got out just in time. You know, so things can be bullish, but things can change very quickly. And, you know, just because we don't think we're going to crash right now doesn't mean we can't crash very soon. So I'm always on the lookout for it, guys. and I'm always prepared and always ready for it. So like I said, guys, I will keep you up to date if we think it's going to crash or something major is going to happen here. But as of now, I think it just makes sense that we get some kind of corrective pullback after such a massive major run-up. We're running out of steam, running out of momentum. We've got a bearish head and shoulders neckline pattern right there. We've got a falling wedge. We're very near the top end of the wedge, right? So we could maybe go higher just a little bit, maybe up to 58, 59K. But you should definitely expect some resistance here, I would say. So that's what we're looking at. That's your update on BTC. Now, guys, I want to talk real quickly about the magnitude of the bull market we could be getting here. I know a lot of people think we're going to go to 100K by the end of the year, and I still stand by my words. If you think that, you're fucking crazy, okay? You're ridiculous, okay? And you know, like I said, for that to happen, guys, do you understand the chart has to literally look like that, okay? And why would the chart look like that, guys? Why? How logical and how probable does it seem to you that we would actually get to 100K? I think 100K is just it's a really good title, but it's not a good and accurate representation of what's probable here, okay? This would have to be one of the most ridiculous looking charts ever for 100K to be hit. And so, yes, we're bullish overall right now, but you have to understand the magnitude and the extent of this bullishness. It may be short-lived, okay? You know, what I'm really looking for right now to really be bullish, like bullish out of my mind bullish, okay, is one, I want to see us get above the neckline, okay, and two, I want to see Bitcoin dominance, okay, actually break the all-time lows, because you have to understand where Bitcoin dominance stands right now, okay, it's either, there's two things that are going to play out. One is that Bitcoin ETF is going to allow money to pour into Bitcoin, and it's going to allow the crypto market to do okay with this ratio going up, which is atypical. Usually when we see the Bitcoin dominance ratio move higher, we see the market crash, right? So that's the only way, in my opinion, that this is not going to lead to a crash, is if the Bitcoin ETF allows it to, okay? Now, the way I'm going to be extremely bullish is either... You know, I can't say a Bitcoin ETF would make me that bullish. I know a lot of people think that's so bullish, but I've explained in many videos why I don't think it's that bullish and why I think it's a huge over-exaggeration. But to me, what will make me very bullish is if this pattern doesn't play out and if we see Bitcoin dominance actually break the all-time lows. Guys, if that happens, I will be bullish out of my mind. But so far, this pattern's holding up. And so right now, you're on edge, okay, because what you're hoping is that this pattern doesn't lead to a crash just like it did in 2018. And like I said, my theory is the way that would happen is through a Bitcoin ETF, which would allow for a lot of money to flow into Bitcoin over altcoins, which would allow Bitcoin to move higher and this ratio to move higher without the market actually crashing, okay? So, like I said, I'll get super bullish out of my mind if, one, we can break below these ultimate lows in Bitcoin dominance, as well as break above, guys, these this level I've shown you here, that neckline on Bitcoin, okay? So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So short term, expecting correction, expecting pullback. Still on this dip, I would still be bullish. Now, you know, that's the number one concern for this bull market, right? Bitcoin looks really strong. Bitcoin looks overall pretty good, okay? But the problem is the altcoins, okay? The altcoins are total dumpsters right now. They can't move really, okay? And once again, why is that? Well, it's because of the Bitcoin dominance ratio, okay? And number two, if you look at, for example, right, look at the Bitcoin uptrend right here that I just shown you. All right, this actually looks somewhat sustainable for a little bit longer. Okay, but once again, if you look at these trend lines, okay, this is not going to, Bitcoin cannot hold these trend lines, because if it does, then that means by January, by the beginning of the year, will be, you know, 68,000 is actually possible by January. But if you continue to go with this trend line, that means by March, we'll be at 87K. And that means by April, we'll be at 106K. So this trend line, guys, I'm telling you, it's unsustainable. It can't continue to hold, and that's why I'm saying we're overall still bullish, because I think we can pull back and still work our way up a little. But ultimately, this trend line will fail, and it is going to lead to a massive correction here, in my opinion. And so, like I said, You're not just seeing this bottom trend line in Bitcoin, you're seeing it in Ethereum. You're seeing it in every single altcoin. Look at this, right? So look at Ethereum. Okay, this is somewhat sustainable, but look at this. Okay, yeah, so maybe we dip, we buy the dip, okay, and we go higher. But we dip back. Okay, maybe we hold it one more time. Maybe we go a little bit higher, because it's going to be very hard to continue to hold above this uptrend line, because look at the slope of that uptrend. That is a hard slope to maintain. Just like you learned about slope in school. What is it? Y equals mx plus b, right? This is a hard slope to maintain that trajectory forever, guys. We'll see Ethereum at 10,000 in a year from now, which it's highly unlikely, despite what many of the moon boys will tell you guys, for that to happen in just 1 year. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing. And let's do like one more altcoin, like XRP, right? You see the same thing happening here, this same trend line. Now this trend line looks decently sustainable. As a matter of fact, it looks very sustainable actually. But you still got to be on the lookout for this bottom trend line that we're seeing in altcoins and in BTC and in ETH. Yeah, I expect it to hold. But how many more times can it hold is the question, because at the end of the day, that's a pretty hard slope. A slope of this kind, right? Maybe this is a much more sustainable slope, right? But with this slope, that's hard to maintain that trajectory forever. And so it's only a matter of time before we get another correction. That could be maybe a couple months, 3 months. Who knows right now? As of now, I can't tell as of now, but rest assured, okay. When we know, I will let you know. Okay, as I always have done. And when I told you that Bitcoin was going to crash, both times this year, I told you right here on this candle, and I told you right here the day before the El Salvador dump. So trust me, guys. But right now, there's no definitive read on this market. There's no definitive thing you can say about this market. Okay, but what I can tell you is that we're still overall bullish, and I still overall expect these bottom trend lines to hold in both Bitcoin and in altcoins. But remember, that's the hard part, is altcoins aren't gaining, guys. They're not, and it's because of Bitcoin dominance in the ratio. So I think it's going to be hard to maintain trajectory, especially if Bitcoin is really the only thing that's making big moves and altcoins aren't. That takes a lot of the excitement out of crypto. It takes a lot of the FOMO out of crypto if altcoins aren't surging, and that is what I believe could shorten this bullish continuation of this bull trend here. So that's your update for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure, if you did, you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and give me some feedback down below. What do you think, guys? But anyways, that'll wrap it up for today's video. If you want to trade with us, guys, make sure to join us at crashtrading.com, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.